What made you actually want to choose? Obviously, because of Liz. I mean, that's the answer to the
Yeah, of
question.
course.
But apart from it being Liz Bayley with a B-A-Y, L-E-Y, just for anyone who's listening, what made you particularly want to choose this episode 60, working with West End pro dancers?
Yeah, so when you had reached out, I was like, oh, absolutely, I'll reflect on anything. It's one of my favorite things to do. But when I was thinking of one that particularly had an impact on my personal kind of clinical experience and one that I drew a lot from, I remembered listening to this one because this was one of the first ones I listened to from the STA podcast. And I'd mentioned that to you when we were chatting briefly. And I had been to the STA theatre in Therapy Expo back in 2021, and Liz had spoken about the foot and ankle, and she had spoken about the dancer's foot and all of that sort of stuff, and I had a chat with her there, I had a chat with you, had a great time. And then fast forward a couple of months later, in March I was in a car accident and I was out of work for about 7 months. I'd have a couple of procedures on my back. I'd a prolonged period of time that I needed kind of crutches, or I needed some sort of mobility aid to be able to get around. And I was unsure if I was going to actually get back into the setting that I wanted to get back into, being private practice. And I was kind of scrolling through, I'm assuming it was Instagram at the time, the STA popped up. I'd seen Liz's name and I was like, you know what, I really loved her talk at the STA Theatre in Therapy Expo. I've nothing else to do. I'm going to sit down and listen to this, and maybe that'll kind of just give me a little bit of hope towards getting back into private practice and into clinical experience.